I know it sounds pretty basic, but right now, HELOCs are so cheap. If you do a blended rate, a lot less expensive to do a conforming first and a HELOC second. Someone in our company coined, Ann, were you? Confumbo. We get the new hybrid pricing that we've come up with on the temporary loan limit balances for the high loan limits. We've called Confumbo. So mixed with conforming and jumbo. So that goes up to $729,750, and you can do a first for $729,750, do the second on the HELOC, and get a lower blended rate than you would if you did a jumbo loan. Also, we can do HELOCs up to $3 million as a first. Now that's a little scary for some people, so you want to make sure you have a savvy buyer when you use that product, because those rates are tied to prime, and prime fluctuates. Okay. Also, with the private bank, we can portfolio some of our jumbo loans. So if you want to do a single jumbo loan and the client meets the Wells Fargo private bank profile, we can portfolio the loan very competitively. Because the rates are not subject to the secondary market, they are basically based on the cost of funds. So what we do is we base it on what the money costs us, pass on the spread to the client, and we can portfolio those loans if the client meets the profile, and that's something we can talk about offline. Strategies for sellers. Obviously, wanting to move inventory these days is important, and want to move it quicker than we are. You can do what they call a temporary buy down, where this seems like a basic concept where you can buy down a client's or buy down a buyer's rate, but we have a product that allows you to go down as much as 3 points off the note rate temporarily, and it adjusts every year thereafter and fixes the note rate in the 4th year. Again, we can talk about that offline if you have any questions about that. What that allows you to do, first of all, for the seller, it's a tax-deductible sales expense. So rather than drop the price on the property by the points, the seller gets to write off the sales expense of the buy-off or the buy-down. You don't take a hit on the sales commission because you're not dropping the price. Once you drop the price, you lose the money. It's gone. But if you reduce the rate for the buyer, the seller pays for the points. The seller gets to deduct the taxes. You don't lose your commission, and it helps you move inventory. Okay, and lastly, I'll go over what's going on with rates. Today they got a little bit better. I'll just go over 4 products: the conforming 30-year, the conforming 5/1, the Confumbo 30-year, and the Confumbo 5/1. So, Confumbo. I didn't come up with that, by the way. I have to give someone at my office credit for that, but I thought it was a great term.
I love it.
So conforming 30-year fixed is, today we're at no points at 5 3/4. On a conforming 5/1 arm, 5 1/4, no points. A Confumbo 30-year, 6 3/8. On a conforming 5/1, 6 1/8.
At 0?
0 points. 0 points.
What are the jumbos at?
Yeah, I haven't even looked because I don't price jumbos anymore because it doesn't make sense based on the new loan limits that we're allowed to use. I just do a first and a second.
To that, I think.
They're right up there.
I would
sort of. You know.
If you're looking at single jumbo, we'll talk about the portfolio loan. That's the best way to do it.
Yes, Amir, do you have a question?
Yes, sorry. I heard that Wells Fargo is the only one doing HELOCs now, or second?
No, I think there's other lenders doing HELOCs. We do concurrent HELOCs. So like if you're doing a first and a second, we do them simultaneously for your buyer. But there's people doing seconds.
Sure.
The restrictions are a little
Household
tighter.
finance and beneficial. That guy from the money store. Phil Rizzuto died, but anyway.
So we still do seconds. We do them concurrently with the firsts when you guys wanted to close.
One of the things that I do want to emphasize on the HELOC is that be careful when you don't use it, don't draw it. They're taking it away.
Take all the money out of your HELOC right now. I'm telling you, it's a little crazy, I know.
If your
but
buyers are going to use that money for down payment, tell them to take the money out now. And don't apply for an increase, because once they apply for an increase, they see the value's not there, they take the whole thing away.
Right, and to go off what Steve was saying, it is Steve, correct?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm new, sorry. So going off what he said, one of the things that banks are looking at right now is they'll pull your credit randomly and they'll see if you're using that HELOC and checking your credit to make sure you're not late on your payments on your credit line, and that your credit's still in good standing on your FICOs. If they see some changes in that, that's when they're going to start yanking or freezing equity lines. So what we're saying is stay current on your equity line, make sure you make your payments, make sure your FICOs are good, make sure you're checking your credit, and if that's the case, generally they won't touch them. But he's right, with the economic situation we're in, banks are getting a little freaked out about equity lines and having people, and if you have an equity line open on your house currently, and you want to refinance your first, be very careful because they may not subordinate to the second based on the new CLTV guidelines. So be very careful if you're going to refinance your first. You may not be able to keep that line of equity open on your second for as much as you have it for now.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Thanks, Jim. If you've got some extra money on that equity line, I'd be happy to take it off your hands.